this now. I got a few folks that asked me to record it. So everybody that's here,
I'll do it.
you gonna do it?
Yeah.
They qualified to be here through enrollments. We ran a enrollment challenge starting back in February, and for the guys that are here that don't know, this enrollment challenge was kind of it hit me one day. I was on the Peloton. I'm a Peloton fan. It's just easy and fast workouts. And so I got into this challenge, like take our challenge. It was back in December or something, January. And I'm like, sure. So I clicked it. I'm up for a challenge. And then once I hit the first level, it said, congratulations, you're a silver medalist. You're 20 miles away from silver, or you're bronze. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, I'll go get that. So I got it. And then I get that one, and then the next one's like gold, and it's significantly more miles. I got to go out there and hustle, right? And on the last day of the month, I get a message from Peloton saying, hey, it's the last day of the month, and you haven't got gold, you're close. And I rearranged my day so I could go up and crush Peloton's goals and get my stupid little medal. As I'm finishing the ride,
It's just an electronic badge that appears by your name.
As I'm finishing it, I go, this is brilliant. And this is so good. We've got to bring this into the team because this is amazing. It totally got me. And so we have had a lot of fun with this enrollment challenge. And coincidentally, it has worked out perfectly with the Flip the Switch program and the enrollment pools that we have now, because basically, Justin, it's the same. 5 enrollments. Now we just have to get the 500 PV. And yes, Jesse Allen, I'm just a little competitive. Have you heard the story of the volleyball game with Dave Fleming in the pool? Ask Fleming if I'm a little competitive, and he'll kind of let you know. So we like to have a little bit of fun too. So we thought, since we're in the world of social media and we keep up with the times.
And it was a challenge that landed.
It was a challenge. So I just thought, you know what? Let's just kick this off right tonight. Y'all ready? A little Ocean Spray cranberry juice. Come on. One challenge to the next. Okay.
For those of you who have no idea what he's talking about, just Google Ocean Spray Challenge.
Or just hang out on social media for a little while.
It's the most soothing challenge I've ever seen.
All right. So congratulations to all of you guys that got on here tonight because of qualifying for it. You guys did in 1 month what many network marketers don't do in their entire career. I don't know. Can you call it a career?
I wouldn't call it a career.
If they've enrolled less than 3 people, I wouldn't call it a career, but I'm just letting you know, you guys did in 1 month what most people don't do their entire time in network marketing. So congratulations to you guys. And we are super excited about this convention that's coming up. And originally we were going to have kind of a get together. We did one thing called Justin's Sweet Life. Justin remembers that. We did somewhere, some city, and it was awesome. And so eventually we're going to get this crew back together and do some fun things. But we thought for tonight, we get you guys to come in and chat with this group and let them get to know you guys a little bit more. And for the business partners that are in here, what I asked these guys to do is to share a little bit tonight on what still excites them. Now, I know some of them are pretty new. Justin, you're now over 5 years, right? You're on your way.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. Well, Lynette and I are jamming so hard right now and busy with things. Our anniversary date for LifeVantage is October 7th, and I totally missed it. That was a few days ago. We hit 11 years, and it just dawned on me today. I'm like, wait, we missed an anniversary with LifeVantage. So it's been awesome getting to be with Justin and the other executives here. But I wanted you guys, let's start with Brian Dixon, Dr. Brian Dixon. I don't think he likes being called Dr. Dixon. I don't know. Jesse's told me he doesn't like Dr. Dixon.
I don't like it.
Okay.
He doesn't like it.
We're all friends here, right?
I mean, that's what we're doing.
And I'm going to set the record straight right now, Brian. I'm going to set the record straight right now. I love Tri-Synergizer. Okay, Jesse, I love Tri-Synergizer, and the
You're
rest
going to
of my,
send me this recording, right?
that's right. The rest of my team is like, what's this all about? It's just some conversations going on, and Brian, I love your experience when you came to the company. I don't know, a lot of these folks know, like the triathlon side. I mean, it's cool with all the education, but as soon as I found out you were a triathlete, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm down with. I like this guy a little bit. So we've got some friends, we've got some common friends in the industry that you worked with at USANA that I know pretty well. And when I asked, I'm like, okay, I got to ask people I know first, what's the scoop? It was amazing feedback that we got. So we're happy to have you here with us. So share with the group a little bit, Brian, what excited you originally when you got the opportunity to come into LifeVantage?
Yeah, I think what excited me originally was the science. I tell the joke that when I first saw the job description for this position, I was like, was this written exactly for me? It's almost like they went through my academic pedigree and they just said, all right, what's it going to take to get this guy? But when I initially started thinking I was going this academic route, and during my academic studies, I was studying NRF2, oxidative stress, aging, also have a little bit of a background in cancer and genetics. So to come back to focusing on cell signaling, NRF2, this whole notion of flipping the switch and activation, it's just incredibly exciting. And it's kind of where I grew up in science. So to be able to come back to that, it's what I know best. And so to be able to apply those to real products that we can put into real people and then experience real benefits, it's super exciting. And, being in R&D has just been something that's excited me my whole life. I also worked for a really large biotech company. And when I saw that whole process of using science to make something that in this case, the consumer, the scientist could use for the betterment of the human condition, it was super exciting. So I was hooked on R&D from that point. And then, to your point, I was a pretty competitive athlete, really my whole life. And so when I got the opportunity to come into R&D in this nutritional space, something that has been just paramount in my life, it was just the perfect fit. So blending that science, my belief in nutrition and what it can do for the human condition and optimizing performance, it just was a no-brainer, a perfect fit.
That's awesome. That's cool. So what is it since, I could ask so many questions and I don't want to get too far in a rabbit hole, but what originally excited you about NRF2 back when you were studying? Like why did you go down that path?
Well, maybe you can rein me in if I get too wonky, but the laboratory I ended up doing my graduate work in was focused around aging. So my boss, my mentor, was a biochemist, and we were a pretty big lab, and we were split about 50-50 between biochemists and molecular biologists. And so we were trying to understand what was happening on that molecular, biochemical, cellular level as we got older. And then as we would identify these changes that were occurring, we would always ask these nutritional questions. Were there nutritional interventions that we could employ that could, slow down, stop, or even reverse these changes that we saw occurring? But when we first started in the laboratory,
that was the cranberry juice. It's ready for it. Like
must be warm in Florida,
like champagne or something over here. It scared me. Sorry, people.
You were supposed to lip sync that, by the way.
I know. I didn't want to hurt you guys too bad tonight with that.
But to come back to kind of our research studies, we kind of took a step back and asked a more fundamental question. So as we get older, and if you kind of think of the cell as a machine, right? So we wanted to ask the question, is the machinery intact, right? And signals just aren't getting through, or is that machinery broken and then, maybe irreparable, and there's nothing that we could do. So a really paramount finding that came from our laboratory was all the machinery is in place. And as long as you're giving it the right signal, that signal can get back through the cell and turn on all the same things that we saw happening when you were a young pup.
I like that, because I'm 49 in a few weeks, so I'm not a young pup, but after this surgery, I still have a teenager, so I got to kind of keep up with those kids. So, but
Hey, when's your birthday?
November 4th.
Oh, November 4th. October 21. So
Okay, I'm close.
Close.
I'm 71, so I'm a 71 baby. So
Yeah, 75 here.
Yeah, all right. Well, so you get to LV, and you get kind of reintroduced to the science a little bit. And since you've been with LV, how long has it been now? Is it over? It's over a year.
It's funny. I missed my LifeVantage anniversary as well. I started July, gosh, what would it have been? July 15th, I think. Whatever the Monday before the event in Kansas City was. That's when I started.
So
it's
good for
early
our
July.
Corporate officers. Bring them in and throw them on the stage.
We did
really
that.
Good luck. It's good luck, especially in the month of July.
They did that to Justin, and he walked in, we all, the pro tens, we were all like arms crossed, like, all right, what's this guy got? And I'm watching my wife, because women are pretty good judge, and Justin comes in and cracks these dimples, and my wife starts smiling, and I'm like, well, I guess she likes him. I mean, I don't know if he knows anything about network marketing, but he likes
the dimples make him look honest. I'm like, I don't know. He looks honest.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, look at those dimples. I don't know if I ever noticed before. Nice work there, Justin. But
so
it's funny. That's a really. Go ahead.
You dove back into the science at LifeVantage with Nerf 2. What has anything kind of like really just said like, wait, this is like blows me away again? Like, is there some more stuff that you're now like more excited about?
Yeah, well, Protandim NRF2 Synergizer is incredibly legendary in our space, right? The nutrition space. It haunted me quite a few times at my previous employer, and I had to do a lot of crafting emails, kind of trying to dive into what's going on and how you could debunk it. But it was a really hard thing to do. But I think what was so exciting to me is, the development for Protandim NAD Synergizer had already begun. So I kind of picked it up maybe midstream or so. And then one of the first things we did was one of the other scientists, Dr. Christina Beer, marched me down to a laboratory partner that we have. And she says, look, we got to get some studies going on this. Let's kick it off. And so just for fun, and maybe that's the nice part of having new eyes on a situation. When I started looking at the ingredients in Protandim NRF1 Synergizer, Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, Protandim NAD Synergizer, you start thinking, oh my gosh, there should be some overlap. We like to talk about these as nice, clean, linear pathways, but they actually communicate amongst themselves as well. So there's a lot of, we call it crosstalk. So they're all kind of communicating with themselves. So kind of had this gut instinct that, all of these should actually be working on a lot of the similar pathways. So that's where we kind of came up with those tri-synergizer studies, where we saw this unbelievable synergy between the three products. So I think what was most exciting was literally in my first month or two to be able to repeat the studies, right? The 31 research studies that we have around Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, but then to be able to repeat those studies myself and like literally be able to do it in my own hands was just kind of the ultimate, faith boost, if you will. So I saw it. I know the scientific methods that we employ, like this stuff's real and it works as advertised. There's just no question in my mind.
That's incredible. That's awesome. And so I know you're on tight schedules, and there's one thing I want to ask you though, because you just kind of touched on it a little bit. And I love the athletic side. I love the passion you have for athletics. And now you're at the command of, R&D. So are we going to see maybe some products for athletes down the road? Like, I know you can't tell us too much, but throw us a bone.
I can't tell you too much, but what I can say, and I hope everybody on the call is going to be tuning in to Global Convention. We've got some fun things that are rolling out there, and Justin, I'm not sure how much exactly we can say, but some fun things around Axio. And, I think there's some really fun things that we can do in the future also around Axio. So thinking about that kind of delivery system and the Axio brand, maybe more as a delivery system instead of just a brain health product and a nootropic. So, there's could be a pretty good fit for sports nutrition in the Axio line. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be seeing that anytime soon, but what I will say is you will see some interesting things coming out around the Axio line. You will see a really aggressive product launch schedule coming out in the next calendar year in 2021. So maybe the best thing is to make sure you tune into convention. You'd hate to lose out on any opportunities, and then stay tuned into the early part of next year and throughout the year, actually.
Awesome. That's exciting stuff, guys. Thank you for sharing that with us, Brian. Thanks for being on here tonight. Welcome to LifeVantage a year later. I've told you welcome a lot of times, but we really are grateful to have you here. Your knowledge is well known in the industry, and we're glad to have you here for sure. So, and guys, I kind of fell in love with him and his wife in Ireland because they're cool people. So you passed the cool people test too. So
I appreciate that. And yeah, we had some fun up skiing as well when you guys were out here up in Park City. But, I just got to say the same thing. You guys are both just absolutely wonderful people. Your maturity in this industry is unbelievable. And you guys are both just such wonderful leaders. So, everyone on this call, you got here for a reason. Follow the leader. There's really a lot of truth to that. So Brandon and Lynette, you guys are some that lead by example. So keep doing it. And everyone on this call, follow their example and do what they do.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate your time.
Oh, likewise. Thanks for having me, everybody.
See you guys. So let's jump over to Mr. Jesse Allen. I think I met Jesse at an even cooler location. Now, we met Brian in Ireland, but we met Jesse in the castle. I remember meeting Jesse in the castle. Is that correct, Jesse?
That is an accurate statement.
Yeah. So guys, to give you a little background, Jesse, so what's you're a year now? You came in after Brian or right at the same time?
I was a little bit before. So I've about 18 months.
Yeah. So when Jesse came in, I kind of knew Jesse as the guy kind of heading up communications. He was going to be the one, kind of messaging things to the field. And I love some of our early conversations we had about Nerf 2 Synergizer and the message and all those things. But it became pretty apparent to me, guys, in working with Jesse and some of these committees, he has talents well above just putting a script together or some emails together, right? There's some real talents there. Really excited to have Jesse here with us. And so I'm not sure if, too many people know a little bit about your background. So give them a little snapshot of your background around marketing, sales, and kind of what led you to LifeVantage.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been in the industry for a little over 20 years now, and I've worked for a couple of different companies. Melaleuca was the first one, who I imagine most of you are familiar with, and then I've worked either for or with a few others. Most recently, before LifeVantage, I was with a company called Unique. It's a makeup company that most of you are probably familiar with. It's a little bit different model, but also in direct sales.
Jesse, I tried to smear Protandim on my face doing Facebook Lives, and it just never caught on.
And clearly, it's your mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was with them heading up product marketing for Unique before joining LifeVantage, and yeah, I came over about 18 months ago. Probably the single biggest attraction at that point. Unique had gone through some changes. There was an acquisition, and there were a number of reasons that it was time to leave. Most attractive at LifeVantage, to be just frank, was the people, and at that point in time, it was the corporate people, because I didn't know the distributors. I've sort of, in some way or another, followed Justin around in his career. When I started at Melaleuca, he had just recently left Melaleuca. And although I'm in marketing now, at the time I was a financial analyst, and I had this report that I was supposed to deliver to all of the sales staff in Melaleuca, and there was Justin Rose at the top of the report. And I kept asking around, who is this Justin Rose? Who is Justin that I'm supposed to find? And anyways, and then I've worked with sort of behind him with some of the other companies that he's been with. And so Justin was certainly an attraction, just because I knew him more by reputation than knowing him. But there was an attraction there. And then we just have a great staff. I don't know. It's unfortunate that you don't get to know, and you will get to know, our CFO and our current acting CEO, Steve Fife, and you'll get to meet him a little bit more intimately, if I can use that word, at convention. He's going to speak in the first general session. He exudes confidence and stability, and for lack of a better term, just intelligence. I mean, it's so fun to get to learn from him and to work with him, and just some of the other staff. So that was what initially attracted me to the organization. You know, I'd love to be able to talk more like Brian about the product, but I'm just not smart enough to see that.
That's not true. That's not true, because for a while we were, was it autophagy or autophagy? I'm like, what is he saying right now? So I know you know the dude if you just get called on. So
Yeah.
And while you guys are here on the chats, if you guys have some questions, we'll see, you know, if we can get some. We can't get all the questions answered. If you guys get some specific questions for any of the executives that are here, go ahead and throw them in the chat, and we'll see if we'll jump on them. So now, Jesse, the keys are yours to the Ferrari in the marketing department, and things are happening really fast and furious over there. So tell us what excites you about what you think this company can do, based on, you know, your experience in the industry with seeing, you know, the distributors now. You're a little over a year with the distributors. You know the product line. What's the potential here?
So I think there's right. I'm going to look at every opportunity, for the most part, with a fairly analytical lens. That's just the nature of marketing. You want to, that's how you're going to approach everything. And without making this overly boring and drawing it out, there's a couple of things that are really, really exciting right now. I think probably more so than any other time of any of our careers, we have a society that is hyper aware and focused on their health and well-being as a result of the current pandemic. We have a society that is hyper focused on their financial stability because of the pandemic. And we have a society that is yearning for and longing to belong to something, because they have been shut out from their community, from their friends, from everything around them for so long. I cannot think of an organization that is better prepared and situated to address a society that is health focused, financially needy, and needs a community and a sense of belonging. Like, LifeVantage literally answers, or has the answer to the top concerns that face our society right now. If that's not exciting from an entrepreneurial standpoint, if that's not motivating, if that doesn't make you sit up and say, holy cow, what do we have? Like, I don't know what does. So that gets me excited. And then the ability that we have working with the distributors at corporate to start to put together tools and systems and the products that are necessary to capitalize on that opportunity gets really, really exciting. And then this one is not, like, what I'm about to say is not, like, it's not quantifiable. I don't even know really how to communicate it. I've worked for a number of organizations where there comes a time within the organization where you can just feel that magic is about to happen. because everything is just lined up. And I don't say this because I have nothing better to say. There is just, and I wish I could encapsulate the feeling that is taking place, at least within the corporate staff, and what we're sensing and what we're seeing right now, and communicate that out, because there is a sense and a feeling and an understanding of this is about to explode. Like everything has lined up. We're getting the right tools in place. We clearly have a distributor base that is engaged and that is ready. And it's essentially give them the tools and get out of the way. And it's really, really exciting, the feeling that we have right now. I wish I could do a better job of like making sense of that, but at the end of the day, it really is just a feeling.
I think it's all going to make perfect sense at the end of next weekend. After Global is done and they've seen all that's been done, it'll make perfect sense.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know Jesse, he is so excited right now.
This is about as much emotion as you get. In fact, this is a little more than you ever will get.
Yeah, because he's delivered some really exciting information to some of the committees. And I'm trying to read his emotions, like, are you really excited? Or guys, I'm just telling you, he's genuinely excited. And Jesse, I'm going to tell you what you just said kind of gave me goosebumps a little bit, because we feel it on the distributor side. There's some things, guys, that are lining up for LifeVantage between the participation with corporate and the distributors working together, that you can't buy it. You can't hire it. You can't commission it. It just has to happen on its own. There has to be a sorting of people who, here's the best way I'm explaining it to you. When the highest paychecks in the company get in alignment with the highest influencers in the company, when those two things merge, when some of the biggest paychecks and the hunger to grow, when it merges at the same time, explosive stuff happens. And I'm telling you right now, some of the largest paychecks in this company are just as hungry now, or more hungry now, because they feel what Jesse just said. And so we are super excited that you're a part, because Jesse, I mean, I'm pretty sure, guys, if you like flip the switch, feel better, do more, I think you're talking to the man that came up with that. And we love that messaging. Like, I'm just going to tell you that I started to embrace the biohacking thing, and I started making it simple, because biohacking seems so complex to me. And when I would talk to people about biohacking, I was like trying to always dumb it down. And then when I heard flip the switch, I'm like, now we're talking. Now I'm with it. Now I can talk about flipping the switch and feeling better. So I love that. I love how you are making the complicated science simple and fun to explain, because that's what we have to do, is we have to get out to the field and explain it to folks. So we're excited to have you here with us, Jesse. Really, it's a pleasure to work with you and be a part of this. And so you guys, if you're loving what you're seeing from corporate right now, start giving them some love in the chats. Give them a little bit of encouragement in the chat boxes, and let them know how appreciative you are of all their work. So let's jump over to Mr. J. Rose, Justin Rose. He's the most tenured executive here. Maybe one of the most tenured executives, period, now.
Hey, that's crazy. Now you're talking crazy.
And Lynette and I don't think of Justin in business terms at all. We really think of Justin and his wife Whitney in a friendship basis, for sure. There is so much genuine love for Justin and what Justin gives to the company. And Justin did a really great job coming in and managing, as I was just talking about, some really strong personalities, some big paychecks with big influence. And Justin did a really good job with those dimples, just tiptoeing through the tulips to get where we are now. And that comes with talent. Extremely talented at what he does. Lynette and I have sat back a lot and said, you know, he's directing that pretty good. Like he's getting through that pretty cleanly right now. So we're super excited to have you in the position you are now, Justin. I think it's I think sky's the limit right now because this thing is going to move really fast, and I know you like moving fast. So he's got a lot of experience in the industry, going back to, you started at New Skin, right? Or
Yeah,
Melaleuca?
Yep, New Skin was my first.
Yeah, New Skin was the first, and so we love the story about the plane ride you took, and everybody was wearing LifeVantage shirts, and you thought they were all for you.
That's right.
Because you were coming in for the interview. We love that story. And I mean, I would have felt the same way too. Now that you're here, Justin, like this is the one thing I'd love for you to be able to share with this group is with your experience in the industry and the amount of time you've spent at LifeVantage, you've seen like, one of the things distributors are always hearing is all the rumors of other companies. And this company's doing this and they've got it going on, or this company's doing this and they got it going on. I would love for you to talk a little bit about just network marketing, in general, and what makes companies really, really, like if there were some attributes that you could say, hey, this is what makes a network marketing company really strong. Would you just lay that out for us and kind of give us your take for LifeVantage in those areas?
Absolutely. First, can I just say how cool it is to see people's faces and names, and no surprise that this is the group that qualified right here. I see so many familiar names of leaders that have been crushing it since I've been here. I see new names, people that I haven't met yet. Looking forward to meeting you guys. But it's just so cool to see so many familiar faces and names. Congratulations to you guys. Yeah, I think a ton about like what it takes to be a successful network marketing company. And one of the reasons I chose LifeVantage is because it definitely passed the test of what it takes to become an elite company. And when I think of, I was with New Skin when it was a $200 million company. I was with Melaleuca when it was a $200 million company. I was with USANA when it was a $200 million company. And those are all billion-dollar companies right now. And I think sometimes when you go back and you look at the history of that $200 million to $500 million transition, companies sometimes have to go reinvent themselves a little bit. And sometimes they go through some changes, which, we've been through some changes, and you kind of, you take a deep breath and then you go for another run. And I have to tell you, that's what I feel like in this moment coming up to next week's event. It's kind of like that. Okay, take a deep breath because we're ready to run. And the people that have come back out to declare the fact that I'm re-engaging, I'm running, I'm ready to go, give me a reason, has been unbelievable. And it's been fun to see. And for me, this last 3 weeks have been a little bit of a blur because I've been able to work a little bit closer with Jesse and Brian. And I tell you, we got some all-stars here. You're exactly right. These guys are the best of the best and are doing some amazing things. And it's kind of like that calm before the storm, if you will, because I'm excited for you guys to see what's coming out. And I am just telling you, get ready to run. Because that's the time. That's the time it is. You can feel it. You can feel it through our leadership calls that we're having. People are excited to get back in and to have a reason. And we've gone through some interesting changes and different things, but I think it's led us to this moment where we are going to be completely aligned and running together. So definitely super excited about that.
That's awesome. So we're excited. Everybody's excited. Originally we were excited. When I'm talking about for convention coming up, when we were hoping it was going to be live, just like you guys were. We all wanted to do this thing live. And then when we originally heard it was going virtual, we kind of had to take a deep breath on that. But what's happened now is people are realizing how many more eyes we're going to be able to get in front of the LifeVantage family that we were never going to be able to get before. So we're excited about that. But tell us a little bit about, maybe, can you give the group a little insight into 2021, what that looks like, maybe from events, like what we're hoping to do for events, or what's kind of on the horizon?
Yeah, well, hey, as soon as they let us back together, we're getting back together. And, you know, we're hopeful. We're putting out there right now a March date to try to bring people back here into Salt Lake City for an Elite Academy where we get to unveil our new corporate office, which you guys are going to absolutely love. We're only about 15 minutes further south from Salt Lake, but we have a beautiful facility that has been built with you in mind. And that's saying from the time you get off the elevator to the entire tour around the building is built for you to bring new people and have them be able to experience what LifeVantage is all about, and how we have set our company up to support our distributors, because we know that you guys are the reason that we get an opportunity to work here. And it's a way of us paying you back for all the hard work you do. So that's the next. If that comes to pass, I'm telling you, that could be the greatest event we've ever done in person. Because I'm telling you, I miss you guys, and I know that you miss each other. And this will be an opportunity for us to do to take the best part of network marketing, which is the relationship, and come back together is going to be an amazing reunion, without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. We're looking forward to that. And honestly, Lynette and I, we haven't said this publicly, we would love in 2021 to put together a weekend in Salt Lake City for our team to come in, where we just designate a weekend, a Saturday, where we come in, we use that facility, that meeting space, and just have a big team True Blue meeting there in Salt Lake City. So that's something we definitely want to plan. We just need to work that out, guys, with the cadence of corporate and their events. We don't want to jam anything up too close, but you know, back in the day, Lynette and I, we attended our first Elite Academy was January or February of 2010. And it was at the Little America, right there, Little America Hotel in Salt Lake City. The room held about 200 or 300 people. And there was such power, what I say, power in the intimacy of that meeting, where you just felt connected with everybody there. And when we left, it was like a real tight-knit unit. And you can't replicate that with 5,000 people in a room. And so I'm looking forward to replicating that again.
Well, you know, the other thing I'm thinking is, you know, that experience for us was our first experience with, you know, network marketing. We hadn't done it before. So we're in this room, and, you know, there were people telling us, like, I think Marcel may have been the one who told us that you'll never experience this again. Like, this room will never be this small again. Mm-hmm. And I think in a lot of ways, you know, for event after event at LifeVantage, we've had about the same size group at those events. And I think we have gotten a little complacent in that's just what we can expect. And I don't think that's what we should expect at all. I think we need to recognize that this is going to be so much bigger than that. And those rooms are going to be so much bigger than that. So you have to embrace every moment of this journey, because it evolves over and over again. And so anyway, it's just kind of cool when you brought that up. It kind of took me right back there going, they were right. It was never that small again.
Yeah, I think one of the things with COVID is taking away people's ability to get together made them mad. And they're like, oh, we're getting together. Like, it's coming, and we're going to do it we're going to do it with force and vengeance. We're coming. It
is definitely coming. And it's the piece. I mean, it's what drives us all. And one of the things I loved about LifeVantage from the time I got here is the event cadence. I mean, There's always an event you're either driving towards an event or you're driving towards an incentive trip, but there's always something to look forward to. You're never taking your eye off the ball, and we'll be back there soon. I promise you.
So any little secrets? I mean, Brian gave us some good stuff.
Yeah, Brian let a little out of the bag. No, we're super excited about things that are in the process of being worked on right now. So unfortunately, we don't have any grand announcements, but just know that the corporate team is here to support you guys. The thing I'm most excited about with the changes that have happened over the last 2-3 weeks, and sales working directly with marketing, is we have never been so aligned and connected with the field in terms of what is it that you guys need right now to be successful? What are the most important things we can deliver to you? And everybody is engaged and ready to run as soon as we get that. It's been a remarkable little transition that we've had, and sometimes that's what's needed, right? And I feel like we're in the position, we have the right people in the right places right now, and we're just going to see an amazing run throughout the end of this year. And then 2021, how excited are you to leave 2020 behind and just fly in 2021? I never thought I'd say that, right? Everybody thought 2020 was going to be this remarkable, incredible year, but it looks like 2021 is the one that everyone's looking forward to now.
Yeah, I think 2020 has taught us all a lot about a lot of things. And I think it plays perfectly into our industry, actually. People are understanding that, what they thought was secure is maybe not as secure as they thought. They're understanding that their health is more important than anything. And man, does that play into our world in a big way, so that we can go out and help so many people get a little bit of something that they thought was not even available or even possible with our products, and of course with the business model. So thank you for being in here with us, Justin. We are grateful that you're manning this ship. Like literally, when you told me, you called Lynette and I and kind of told us some of the things that was coming, and my head hit the pillow. I didn't lose any sleep that night. In fact, I slept pretty good that night because I knew you were going to be amazing in running the network marketing piece of this thing. And so for those of you who don't know, Justin is the chief sales officer, but also now has marketing marketing is under his watch, let's say that. And so what that has done, the saying, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. Well, now they definitely do. They did before, but now they definitely do. There's a lot of communication going on. And we're really happy, Justin, that you have this position to take this company and run, because I think, guys, what made LifeVantage dynamic in the early days, in the startup phase, is we were just running out of sheer excitement for being a part of a startup. And along the way, we kind of got slowed down. I say a little too big for our britches on both sides. The distributor side, a lot of distributors got comfortable. And I think we kind of had people on the corporate side too that were comfortable. And I love where we are right now, because we got people just hungry.
Yeah, let's get uncomfortable. And by the way, don't tell anybody else this, but True Blue, my favorite group ever, missed the dance parties after the events. Got to get back there.
Yeah, you say that to all the teams, Justin. Rachel
Rachel
and I are really good friends. There's no more secrets. We talk all the time now. So anyway, thank you for being on here, Justin. And thank all of you for all of your hard work that you're doing. And I know this is just the tip of the iceberg. What I know is this, the whole Roger Bannister story where you had to break the 4-minute mile. And once it's done, a bunch of people did it. And so for a long time, our team didn't have that many people enrolling 5 people in a month. And all of a sudden, some people did it in February. And I'm going to tell you, it snowballed all the way through September. It snowballed all the way through. And September was the largest. How many people hit? It 47? Like,
Well, I know that in the month of September, we had over 20 people who had hit it for the first time.
And we had 47 in the pool. Like, you guys just crushed it. So we went from a few qualifying to just ramped up with a lot of you. And so I think now a lot of you know it's possible to enroll 5 people. Some of you enrolled much more than 5 people. And Lynette and I are committed to helping you guys grow your business. We're having some fun right now with the Axio Challenge and getting a lot of people exposed to that product. And it's kind of exciting that Brian said we might have some fun stuff coming up at convention around the Axio line. So we'll be looking for that. And moving forward with this group, I know we announced it once, but I'm going to repeat it. Whoever gets in the pools this month, whoever gets in the enrollment pools this month, 5 enrollments with a minimum of 500 PV, we're going to continue to do a monthly Zoom with those qualifiers in a mastermind format. It's been really beneficial for the last couple months, and we're going to move that forward. So another reason for you guys, besides the extra money that you're going to get, hopefully in these masterminds, we're going to teach you some things that make a whole lot more money for you than the actual pool. It's kind of funny at this moment to kind of tell you how things are clicking at this company. I'm getting messaged by Tara Wilson right now and other teams. There's a lot of communication going on that's just awesome within the leadership of this company. So thank you guys for doing what you do. We look forward to convention and invite like crazy to convention. And when we finally do get together, we'll have a lot of fun. So
have a good night, guys.
You guys have a good night.
Take care.
Talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Night,
Brandon,
guys.
Lynette.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Love